hell?
Do you remember when they released the Mummy trailer without sound effects? Now this is how it's supposed to sound.
What the hell?
It is a secret ingredient that brings pictures to life. Sound in movies, video games, podcasts, anything that's not a song, it's called the hidden art, the invisible art. The audiences aren't supposed to notice it. It's a tool to enhance the storytelling, to elevate our emotions. Now, because of that label, it is also often overlooked. Like, we kind of rarely comment on it. The visual effects, the gunfights, the car chases, and maybe music get people talking, but sound design, Foley and ambiances, they get no love. The first films had audio guys perform live to the picture, doing sound effects, playing music in the room. Obviously, that was not scalable, so they soon started recording it. It started with synchronisation. They would record the sound onto phonograph discs and simultaneously play them with the film projections. Another approach was recording the sound onto the film strip, but all of it required precise sync between the audio and the picture during playback. From live performance to rudimentary recording to mono to stereo to surround, and now Atmos setup, it was a long process. But synchronization to the picture is still a major aspect of film sound. We have a film slate on location for easy dialogue sync. When preparing sound mixes, there are conventions like 2-pop. Now, back when I worked at the movie studio, we used them on all deliverables.
It's that pop noise that happens right on the 2 of that countdown. That's why it's called a 2-pop.
A lot has changed, but not everything. Foley, the art of using props and materials to create realistic sound effects, is still going strong.
John is a Foley artist at Skywalker Sound, and this is his amazing sonic studio.
This is from Braveheart. This is one of the swords that we utilized. It was a very large sword, which you'd use 2 hands on, so we want to make sure what we're doing had that same sound. So with this, I can make it sound big.
Just like in the good old days. Foley artists, named after Jack Foley, can use anything from kitchen utensils and clothing to rubber chickens as their tools.
It's funny, you see this as, okay, a little kid's glove, right? Well, actually, we used this in a video game recently for a footstep of a weird character. So what you see is not necessarily what you get. Again, that's the trick.
When you watch a film or TV series, none of the sounds you hear on the screen are captured on location. The footsteps, the rustling of a jacket, the creak of the floor, that's all created later in post-production. Foley artists were using raw meat for punches like in a Fight Club, or raw veg like celery to mimic breaking bones. Sandworm from Dune, when it swallows sound, they made it by sucking air with a microphone inside the mouth.
Furrowing sounds, we would take microphones and kind of jam them through the sand, and as if mimicking the worm's motions.
Coconuta's horse hooves in Monty Python's Holy Grail? Well, they actually didn't hide them in there. Pro Foley artists work in unique studios, Foley studios, but a microphone and a mixer are enough for people who start out. The Star Wars sound designer Ben Bird walked and captured sounds everywhere. But the change from the past is in the development of Foley libraries or sound libraries in general. Projects with smaller budgets or tight deadlines can't have people going to the woods and recording every little detail. With an option to buy rather than record, many producers prefer this approach. Now, there is an argument of using the same sounds versus originality, but with the amount of content out there, we need quick solutions too. Now, Foley is important, but it is not everything. Fantasy, sci-fi, supernatural, and many other genres require sounds not found around us.
So this was a component of the startup when they first start flapping. And you can hear it's already different if I go slow.
So sound designers use synthesis to create sounds. We can sample the sound, manipulate it, and use it as we see fit.
When I first played that to Denis, he loved the idea. We needed to craft a few details like what it sounds like when the blade cuts through it. Maybe we show how that works when you're cutting through the shield, and we make it explicit with a red flashing from the shield in VFX and a beeping tone like an alarm.
We can create new sounds from scratch too, using pure synthesis or granular synthesis, when we break the sounds into the smallest grains. And Krotos is a software that helps with it.
So what Death Station sounds like.
Monsters, spells, futuristic spaceships, and laser guns all need sounds, so the creativity does not stop with the recording. It carries on until the end. And yes, AI makes it even easier.
This artificial intelligence lets you speak with any, and I mean any celebrity voice in real time.
Still, I want to circle back to sync. Recording and creating these sounds is only half of the job. Editing and sync in post-production is the other half, all to create a more powerful scene. Synchronization between the sound and the picture is the foundation upon which everything else is based. And that has stayed the same since the beginning. For over 100 years, the job description was simple. Here's the scene, make some sounds and sync them to the picture. Use a microphone and a prop or a computer, whatever. But it always required an actual human to do these tasks. The tools got better, but the job stayed the same.
For example, if it's a horse chewing celery.
I put my hands up to here because you get a little bit of a cavity there. And it's those cavities that sell the sound.
Now this is changing. We all know about AI, and film sound is not safe from it. You say, I want a big explosion sound, and it makes it. So you can imagine that in the future, rather than using libraries or recording sounds, we just prompt AI to create them for us. Now, researchers from the University of Texas, San Antonio, had developed an AI-based program, Audio Foley, that can scan the entire scene, generate the appropriate sound effects, and sync them to the picture. So literally taking every step of the job from our hands. It's still in the development stage, but it's coming. And that's just the beginning. For the first time in history, sound doesn't need to be recorded. It can be generated from text by anyone.
We now have the sound effect being generated, and with SFX V2, you can generate multiple sound effects at the same time without waiting for the previous one to finish.
Now, will it replace jobs? I think so. Creativity will prevail, and it's safe to assume that quality and truly different projects will stand out. They always do, but for the rest of the content, reality shows, cheap documentaries, TV sitcoms, AI will be a quick and cost-effective option. And studios and producers love that. Anything to save a penny. Film sound is as important as the picture. It helps to create suspense and tension during key moments. to make a movie feel more realistic, atmospheric, and emotionally engaging, to immerse us in a storytelling. The art of film sound has changed and evolved throughout the decades, and it will soon go through another period of uncertainty. There will be losers, there will be winners, as always. But one thing is for sure, as long as we are alive, we will tell stories. We will record them and we will share them. How we do it will change, yes, but why we do it will not. Thanks for watching.